Hare Krishna, I'm Anutama, and today's video I would like to explain, basically I want to explain what are the goals, what are we doing with this, why did we do the lawsuit? And generally speaking, in the materialistic court system, the reason that people have lawsuits is usually over money or power. And in lawsuits, there are different what's called causes of action. As devotees, we're not so much interested in the money or power, but the purpose of this lawsuit is really more about the truth. What a lawsuit does is it has a bunch of numbered paragraphs, and each paragraph has some point that we're alleging something, and we're giving the person that we're complaining against in the lawsuit, they have a chance to contradict what we're alleging, whatever facts what we're alleging. So in this lawsuit that we did, there are 84 different paragraphs. So that's 84 different, no, only 80. I took some of them out. 80 different things that we're saying that we are claiming are true. And when the defendants answer the lawsuit, under each number, all they have to do is write either admitted, in other words, they agree with whatever that paragraph says, or denied it, and that's where we want to argue about, or that they don't know whether that's true or not, which is a valid thing. And then what happens is at the end of each cause of action, I'll get to what a cause of action is, I have a wherefore clause in which we ask the court to make a decision based on the facts that we were able to present if we have to go to a case. Now, again, it's not, we don't want to have a trial on this. We would rather just sit down with the defendants and present our grievances, our complaint, and then talk it over and come to a reasonable explanation. That would be the very best outcome. If they are not willing to do that, or if they don't even answer the lawsuit, if they don't answer the complaint, then we will go ahead and have a trial, even if they're not there. And the trial, we will be able to actually get their personal assets. Again, it's not about money. What we want is the truth, and what we want is what is in the wherefore clauses. So I'm going to just go through them. There's 6 of them, six different things that we're asking for. So the first thing that we ask for is, in order to start this effort, I did ask the BBT, or it ended up being the BBTI, for a grant for our project, which is a Simple Living High Thinking project. And normally, if the BBT was being run by valid trustees, they would be very happy to give a grant or a loan to such an appropriate project where we're protecting cows and producing our necessities and building a community based around simple living and high thinking about Krishna. So the first thing that we asked the court for is to give money damages, which would be, since I asked for a grant, would be probably the amount of the grant that I asked for. The second thing that we asked for is a very short paragraph, because I just want them to, or we just want them to tell us where the money's been for the last, ever since Srila Prabhupada left the planet. There hasn't been an accounting. So I think that's very, very reasonable that the beneficiaries should be able to understand where the money's going. So we want to look at the books and get an idea of what's happening. The third count is conversion of BBT property. And so what we're asking the court for there is we're saying that they took the property of the BBT as the copyrights. And the copyrights are being managed out of a corporation called the BBTI. And so we're just simply asking the court, plaintiff moves the court for a declaratory judgment that the assets of the BBT be removed from the control of the BBTI and managed from the valid BBT as instructed in the trust document. It's not asking for a lot. Count number 4 is conspiracy. Okay, and that's kind of a long one, and that's the one where I put the quote from the 1997 to 1998 case, where the BBT says, the BBT believes that ISKCON owned the copyrights. In other words, Srila Prabhupada did not own the copyrights that belonged to a corporation called ISKCON Incorporated, and that Srila Prabhupada made a mistake by claiming that he owned the copyrights and putting them in a trust. So anyway, we don't think that the trustees that asserted that in court, in paper, in writing, should be the actual, I mean, they're the acting trustees, but they are not the actual trustees. So we're just asking the court to void any, so how to put it? The plaintiff moves the court for a declaratory order to remove the defendants, and it names the acting trustees. Plaintiff moves the court to appoint trustees who are willing to follow the wishes of the grantor and are willing to vow the oath of allegiance that was approved by Srila Prabhupada. Plaintiff moves the court to order the disbandment of the ISKCON GBC and a replacement GBC be created following Srila Prabhupada's instructions, especially his instructions in his written direction of management. Plaintiff additionally demands judgment for money damages against the defendants together with such other and further relief as the court may deem reasonable and just under the circumstances. So in other words, if some of the defendants choose not to answer, in other words, they don't want to go to mediation and try to work these things out. And if our common law jury, or if our common law court finds that the defendants, we're actually, we're actually at fault here, that the court could actually award personal assets of people such as Jay Israel, I don't know what he owns, or Radhanath, that those assets be given to the plaintiff, which is the Nandagram Society for Krishna Consciousness. Okay, the next cause of action was for constructive fraud. And in this one, we asked the court to void any settlement that was obtained from the 1997-1998 case. Additionally, we're asking again for some money damages against them. And count number 6 is fraud. And for that, we're asking for money damages again. Again, the purpose of this lawsuit is not to get the money damages. I mean, the ideal outcome would be if each and every defendant answered the lawsuit and then agreed to a meeting where everybody sits down, maybe not just the New Nandagram Society for Krishna Consciousness, maybe all of the devotees that have been disenfranchised because of the GBC policies and the BBT policies, and we work out, something that Prabhupada wanted us to cooperate. So this lawsuit is just basically a message to them, hey, you guys, you better cooperate or else. All right. Hare Krishna.